Hello everybody, this is Agony333. We're here for another fucking movie review. This time it's gonna be back to old stomping grounds. It's gonna be a fucking disturbing movie review. So yeah, disturbing horror movie like I done in the past. This time it's gonna be one called Where the Dead Go to Die. Now, this is a movie that a lot of people really despise, and so we're going to look into this and see what my thoughts are. See, is it really as bad as a lot of people think? Because a lot of people, and I'm not saying bad isn't disturbing, I mean people in general just don't like this fucking movie. And honestly, after viewing it, I can see why that's the case, but I'll be getting into that. Just like before, I'll do a part before spoilers, and then a part of spoilers where I get more into things. I'm gonna try once again to keep this short. We'll see if I can fucking manage that one or not. Okay, but yeah, I got my notes here of things I wanted to discuss. But first off, we'll get into the thick of this. Yeah, so Where the Dead Go to Die, a movie released in 2012. It's an hour and 35 minutes, and it's an animation fantasy horror, I guess, is what the genres apparently are. It was made by a guy named James Creamer, or also known as Jimmy Screamerclauz. And as far as I know, he did pretty much a lot of the work himself. The movie was apparently made in 6 months' time. And he, if you watch the credits, look into it, I mean, he did a lot of the work himself. And for that, at least when I go to rating it later on, that is what helps elevate it a little bit, in my opinion, because, I mean, the amount of work put into it, whether it turned out good or not, to me, is like, that's dedication there. The fact that somebody can put all that time, excuse me, all that time into making a fucking movie that's an hour and 35 minutes of animation, and I mean that took a lot of work, I'm sure. He even also voiced one of the characters that we'll be getting into called Labby, which is this really sick, psychotic fucking dog. But so yeah, let's get into this. It's basically an anthology thing where it has three different shorts, three of them. The first one called Tainted Milk, the second one called Liquid Memories, and the third one is called The Mask That the Monsters Wear. And pretty much they're supposed to tie into each other, but for me, I personally felt that was kind of not very well meshed, personally. That's just my personal thoughts on it. It wasn't meshed very well together. I mean, even one of the things that I had looked up said that he kind of added that later. Um, so yeah, that leads to that, in my opinion. Yeah, it didn't really mesh. All three of them didn't really mesh all that well together. I mean, there was elements there where he took characters that kind of reoccurred in each of them, but it just, to me, yeah, they were, yeah, any fucking who. So the first one, Tainted Milk, is basically about a kid named Tommy, and basically he has a troubled home life. And basically, the dog Labby that he meets within like 5 minutes pretty much tells him to do some really fucking horrible things, really whacked out fucking shit. Now, apparently, this short was supposed to be a comedy, like a dark comedy, and honestly, I can see little elements of that. I can, because at least for me, like certain dialogue that was there, I could see how it was supposed to be funny and came off a little bit funny, but not very funny, at least to me. And apparently also, Jimmy, James, Screamerclauz, Kramer, whichever you want to call him, apparently at one point in time even intended to put a laugh track during this short and decided against it. Because yeah, I mean, to me, the humor, like I can see some of the humor, and it could have been funny, but it's kind of like it's tough with those tones to me. Even the humor, if he was going for that, the tones, it just doesn't. Yeah, it kind of they don't balance out very well, in my opinion. So yeah, there's that, and so I guess I won't really go into other than in this short. What takes place is the death of a baby, necrophilia, and bestiality. And yeah, I mean it's definitely out there, but this is the shortest of the three shorts, which really surprised me. And I thought this short was all right. It obviously is over the fucking top, but I mean it was really short. So I mean, really for me, anyways, it was kind of just like there, over and done with. So, but I thought it was all right compared to what we're going to get into later on. So I guess I'll leave it at that. The second one, which is called Liquid Memories, personally to me, this is the weakest of the three. This one delves. Damn it, I'm trying to remember his name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm forgetting his name. Okay, so the main protagonist of this story is basically a guy who has once again, had a troubled kind of thing happen in his past, and he basically extracts liquid memories, liquid from people. He kills them, he extracts it from them, and he uses it to try to, I guess, suppress those memories, try to erase certain ones and fix others, things like that. Now, the problem with this one, I felt like this one in particular, for me anyway, seemed to drag. Um, you know, it also, he threw in a lot of, there's a lot of surreal moments, which I'm fine with. I mean, I've seen the movie Enter the Void that has a lot of like surreal, kind of trippy moments, and so I'm fine with those. But in this one, it just, for me, it didn't. Yeah, I mean, I liked some of those. I liked some of the visuals, but it just felt disjointed. It felt like, a lot of the dialogue, Labby was reintroduced back into it. There's just tons of different dialogues, tons of different, he's going through, I think, thoughts, he's going through memories. Labby's telling him things about God and all this other shit. There's all kinds of just, this and that. And then, there's the part where the prostitute and this army guy and stuff. And I mean, that seemed kind of like, at first to me, disjointed. I mean, obviously it looped back around and went into the story, but I mean, it just felt like that short was trying to do way too many things. That's my opinion on it. And remember, guys, this review is all my opinion. If you hate the movie, you like the movie, whatever, it's just my opinion. And that's another thing I was going to mention, is I really tried going into this movie to forget what everybody fucking said. That's what I try with every movie. That's what I try with every game. Fuck the reviews. Fuck what anybody says. I want to give it a chance. I want to try to get the good things out of this movie and see what I can salvage here. But this short in particular, in my opinion, weighed the rest of the experience down. So yeah, this one weighed it down. It was kind of dragged out, like I said, disjointed. For me, I couldn't do it. It wasn't all that appealing. Like, to me, the first short was more interesting than this one was. But I'm glad I stuck with it, because then we're getting into the third short, which is The Mask That the Monsters Wear. Now, this one, in my opinion, is the most disturbing, which is funny, because I mean, there's not necrophilia, there's not the bestiality and shit in this, but this one is the most disturbing in my opinion, and the strongest of the three. This one, I mean, I feel like this movie would have benefited from cutting Liquid Memories, like, if it would have had a Tainted Milk and done that one a little bit better, and had the second short be something better than Liquid Memories, and then The Mask That the Monsters Wear, I feel like the film could have been elevated and done a lot better, in my opinion. But The Mask That the Monsters Wear to me, was the most disturbing part of it, because to me, it was the strongest for me. Him getting the characters right. I I really felt for Sophia, or Sophie, the little girl in it, because in this one we see some really, really depraved shit, and that's, I mean, I don't think I really, I guess, got into that enough. But this movie is extremely fucking depraved. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. It's like, basically, the protagonist of this one, and damn it, I'm thinking I forgot the name of this character as well. No, I did not. Ralph. He wears a mask, and he has like a conjoined twin to him that's stillborn dead. Um, he has once again a troubled, really screwed up home life, really horrible fucking parents, and basically he's in love with his next door neighbor to the point of obsession, and her name is Sophia, and her life is just it's just utterly fucking horrible. And to me, like that, like I said, that's what made this disturbing. Is it was just because there was a lot of her father basically her father pretty much yeah, has her doing like porn videos even though she's underage, and so I mean it shows some of that crap, and it's really fucking sick shit the way he treats her, the way that happens. But yeah, I mean it was definitely, compared to the other two, in my opinion, stronger in terms of like, it's like blowing me away, like wow, like fuck. But yeah, but it was also the strongest because there was moments of like where Ralph and her were together, and I'm trying not to spoil too much, but there's moments that were good moments. It wasn't all disturbing in that short, and it kind of fleshed the characters out a little bit, and there was good moments there. And so, I mean, you got to see, even as twisted and fucked up as it was, for me, that part worked and helped characters help the short be better. So yeah, that to me that was the strongest of the three. And I'm going to be looking at these notes to see if there's anything I can really discuss outside of the spoilers. Let me see here. I'm sorry, folks, but just give me a moment. Oh, also, I should mention that Jimmy Screamerclauz apparently has made another movie in 2015, which is called When Blackbirds Fly. I don't know if I'll be watching this one. I don't know. Sounds like an interesting premise, but I was completely unaware that he'd made another movie, and I bet a lot of other people don't even fucking know he made another movie. So I figured it'd be important to at least mention that he's since released another film. But yeah, I mean, okay, I'll go into positives. Okay, so positives, things that I actually liked about this movie, because a lot of people are really like just hate the fuck out of this film, and I can understand. I can really understand. That's the first thing I'm going to say is I understand why people hate this fucking film. It's not hard to see why, because for me personally, I liked some of the visuals, like some of the distorted things, creepy vibes. Some of the surreal stuff I liked. It had like to me a Silent Hillish vibe to it. It was really dark, and some of the moments were really cool. Some of the creature designs for like the demons and just things in those were really neat and fucked up. But the bad part of it is some of like the movement and models just, it's not the highest quality, and so that's going to turn a ton of people off. For me, I put that to the back burner. For me, when I play games, I don't need top tier graphics, so for this I was like whatever. To me, I'm more concerned about the story, and just if it entertains me and keeps me going, which it sort of did. But like I said, Liquid Memories, yeah. But yeah, I liked some of those visuals. I thought they were really creative and really cool. I mean, especially the shadow people. There was like these people that had like this big fucking eye and just mouth. And those, I thought like things like that were really cool. Like I said, other demons, just other things, some of the environments, like some of the stuff I liked, even though it wasn't the highest quality. I still liked it. I thought it was cool, and it set up a cool kind of like atmosphere, and like it did all right. Um, yeah, the other thing for positive is, like I said, I put in there that, he did this movie in 6 months. Regardless of whether you like the movie or not, the fact that he dedicated and he busted his ass and did this, and he probably might have known that this movie maybe if, not many people would like it, and a lot would fucking hate it for its subject matter and whatever, but he still went and he put the time in for it. So to me, that's commendable in a sense that he did that. So, and the other positive is, like I said, the masks that the monsters wear. I sort of liked that one. Not the subject matter. Don't get me wrong, that was fucking horrible. But that was the most. That was the one that like hooked me in the most. Just like me wanting to see how it was going to resolve, and got the most emotional response out of me personally. Because to me, the first one, it rushed by so damn fast, and it tried. to me it tried because it had some like there was like a track that was trying to make it kind of sad feeling towards the end of it. But yeah, I mean, you just rush by. Second one, I mean, the main guy, there's nothing really about him that's, he's just kind of an asshole. Like a lot of the things he says and does, he just does it with like no empathy, nothing at all. Um, I mean, a lot of people in this series of shorts are fucking scum. I mean, the majority, if not basically everybody, is fucking scum and do some really horrible fucking things. It's like very bleak ass shit. But yeah, I thought that that was the best, like I said. And I thought that this is another thing. A lot of the acting is really low par, is really low quality stuff. And that's another complaint a lot of people are making is, I mean, a lot of the voice acting is pretty fucking, yeah. I mean, for me personally, what was funny is like at first I kind of like laughed at like Labby, which Jimmy voiced himself. But after a while, I kind of like it sort of fit to me in a sense. Like it had, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's to me it sort of fit all right. And I felt like he did an all right job. To me, Labby was memorable. Maybe not for all the right reasons memorable, but it was memorable. And is definitely a crazy fucking. I mean, reminded me of Mr. Pickles. I need to watch that fucking show. But anyways, and also like the lady who voiced the prostitute. Like, I could felt like she was really trying. Like, I mean, there's certain moments, where certain actors like that one, the one playing the prostitute, I felt like she was doing some pretty good line deliveries. Some dialogue was pretty cool there, pretty good to me. So yeah, I mean, some of them were good, but a lot of them were, they didn't make it. So that's my positives, and that's those are the positives I'm looking at. But the negatives, and this is the thing for me, the negatives they outweigh the positives, and I think that's the case for most people viewing this. I mean, that's besides the subject matter. That's completely besides the subject matter. You put the subject matter aside, what the movie's about, you put that aside, and it's still a negative movie because of, like I mentioned, the low acting. The majority of them, the acting is just, yeah, it's just really fucking, yeah. And the effects, like a double-edged sword, some of it can be cool, but a lot of it, it's, for other people who are not like me, who want to see something that's put together with, extra care and really polished and some really good effects, it's not here. So, I mean, there's no, the acting is low. The effects are basically considered by most to be low. And like I said, my another big negative was the middle act to me. Liquid Memories. That was for me just whatever. It just felt like it dragged and it didn't hold me like the other two did. And like really the last one. Really the last one was the one that just like did anything there in that sense. Because like I said, the first one skipped quickly. Second one was kind of just slogging through it, and yeah, the third one brought some stuff that I wish the others had into the characters, and like I can't, like I said, I can't explain it, but the negatives do outweigh the positives, unfortunately, even though he put all this work into it. You know, the negatives outweighed the positives, and that's why everybody, I'm sure, is shitting on this movie. And that's just putting the subject matter aside. You bring the subject matter back into it, and it's bound to offend and disgust and really piss off a lot of fucking people. Because, I mean, I've watched disturbing movies, Serbian film, whatever others that I've watched, and I mean, really, a Serbian film's probably one of them that gets closer to this. But I mean, you just don't see this level of depravity in a lot. At least I don't recall seeing this kind of like shit. So yeah, the subject matter obviously is bound to offend a lot of people. So this is what I'm gonna say is I felt like you already know 5 is average for me. So I had thought about giving it average for a while there. I was struggling with it to at least give it average, but then I was thinking, I'm like, how can I give this average? How can I give this average when there's all these factors that are obviously below average, like the low grade acting that bogged it down, the effects, that, in a sense, bogged it down for me. That wasn't really a big issue, but it's an issue. And the middle act, just to me, that was a big one for me. That just really, yeah. With all those negative issues there, it was hard to make it average or even above that, you know? So with that, I figured, and I thought about lowering it to 4, which would be below average. But at the same time, I really struggled with it. I did, because I remembered the work he's put into it. The fact that, for me anyways, the third short sort of redeemed a little bit there, and sort of things that I liked about it, like in the visuals and some of the bits there. So I said, fuck it, I'll settle in the middle. So it is still below average, but I figure I would put it at a 4.5. Now, this is the one thing I'm going to say is I think most people are not going to like this movie. Most people will not like this movie because of the negatives that I said and because of the subject matter. I mean, you have a really short, niche and, a really small group of people who are probably going to be okay with this film, like I was sort of, and you're going to have even probably less people that like love this film. So yeah, I mean, and another thing I should mention before I wrap it up and get into the spoiler stuff is damn it, I lost my fucking train of thought, son of a bitch. Oh yeah. I feel like a lot of the things that were trying to go for depth didn't really work for me personally. It felt like rambling, like when Labby was talking about God and all this, and I mean, I don't think none of it was probably really supposed to be that in depth or nothing, but I mean, some of the dialogue kind of makes you think it's supposed to be in depth. But so yeah, I mean, some of the dialogue kind of like made me think like it's trying to, but at the same time, it like wasn't trying to. And even Jimmy himself said that like the surreal moments he put in there because he liked them. He didn't put them in there for a purpose. Really, he put them in there because he liked them. So I mean, to me, if there would have been more depth executed well, it could have helped elevate it. If it could have had all the actors be on par, if it could have had it be polished and the models moving better and things like that, if it would have had a stronger second act, it would have definitely been higher. But yeah, most people are not going to like this movie. So I mean, that's what I'm going to say. I don't think many are going to like it. Um, I don't know if it's going to really disturb viewers who are looking to get shocked and awed by this because, sure, the subject matter that's happening is fucking crazy, and thinking about it, like even just thinking about that shit is fucking nuts. But the fact that, like I said, the effects aren't, they don't really sell it all the time. The acting doesn't sell it. It kind of undermines the disturbing quality. It kind of, it doesn't sell it. Whereas like a Serbian film, that sold it. Those effects were fucking the soundtrack, like everything on that to me was spot on. It sold it. It freaked me the fuck out. This, a lot of things were working against what it was trying to do. So yeah, it's a 4.5. If you're still thinking about watching it, maybe give it a watch, but I do think that for a lot of people it's going to be a waste of time. It's probably not going to really disturb you, and there is not very many positives in my opinion here. It's not a a film that you want just watch for fun kind of thing, really. To me, it's subject matter and everything, it's not. It's got too many negatives there. So that's all I have for the introduction before the spoilers. Apologies for the length. I tend to fucking ramble, obviously, but now we will get into spoilers a little bit. I'm not going to be going like way into other things. But yeah, one of the things, I guess I probably didn't even need to say this for spoilers, but one of the things I had read and like seen and heard was that apparently James Kramer, Jimmy Screamerclauz, was high while making this, and I mean it shows, I guess. It definitely shows. I mean, I don't know why the hell it shows, but I thought I would mention that fact that he was apparently high while making this. I already mentioned the laugh track and that the first one was supposed to be a comedy, but failed in my opinion. Even yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it completely failed on that part in my opinion. There was like I said, a couple lines that I could see how they would have been funny, but in the tone and with everything, it just didn't work. Um, But yeah, I guess I'll go into Tainted Milk. Like, is there anything I want to discuss when it comes to Tainted Milk? Labby's a fucking piece of shit, obviously. The kid is a fucking idiot because he just listens to whatever the fuck Labby says. And I felt a little sorry for him afterwards when he kind of realized he was like, I'm a dumbass. He realized that he realized he was wrong. So I sort of felt a little bad for him. But like I said, it was just so short. I couldn't get into the character because I try to immerse myself in the movie. I try to really immerse myself, get into the characters, feel the emotions. That's what I try to do. And to me, it was void of that. And that's the problem with a lot of this. A lot of this movie would seem to void of emotional impact. And for me, anyways, when I view disturbing films, that's what makes them disturbing, is when there's good characters and when there's a good story and when there is emotional investment and impact is what makes it or breaks it. And for this, in that first short, it didn't have that. In the second short, didn't have that either. To me, the second short was less so than this. I was just, it was. So yeah, I'll get into the second short, which yeah, I mean he's kills the prostitute, even though apparently he is like he views her as being something, like I don't know if it was a love kind of thing, but he kind of had some positive feelings towards her, but he just does it anyways. I mean, just I don't know, man. It's just I can't. I don't even know really what to say. It's just it was trying with disturbing shit, and it just was a lot of it wasn't working for me. It was probably the acting effects and everything. But yeah, the second one just really, like I said, it was very disjointed. There was so much different dialogues, different thoughts there. So much shit that just for me, trying to do too much ended at that. So now it'll probably be the one that I might describe the most, which is the masks that the monsters wear. Now this one I really felt for Ralph because I mean, god damn, like I don't know how, it succeeded in this aspect. Why maybe it was because this one was longer, so it allowed more time. And since you're with him enough, and so you sort of kind of could understand where he's coming from, even though he makes a really fucking horrible decision later on in the short. But yeah, at least for me, like I felt sorry for his situation more so than even Tommy. I mean, his situation was, to me worse, obviously. I mean, fuck. But yeah, Sophie to me was out of all of the characters, to me Sophie was the one that I really felt bad for and that really was just like, god damn, like some of the things she said like about being numb, about, yeah, like not feeling anymore and just some of those dialogues were just like fuck. For me, it was yeah, it worked, for me for some reason. And the interaction where it was supposed to be good, where they're, kind of frolicking out there, they released the bugs, released the bugs that were in the jars and stuff like, to me added to it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't really explain, but I felt like that one was pulled off a lot better. To me, I felt like it was given the time needed and it was pulled off better story wise and everything. So yeah, obviously Ralph makes a fucking horrible decision because he's an asshole too. Yeah. So that's all I guess I have to say about that. Yeah, Labby. Apparently, here's another fun fact: is apparently Labby was supposed to be like a parody of Lassie, which you can kind of tell when you think about it. Labby, Lassie, they have even similar kind of names there. But yeah, Labby like was absurd, but at the same time was just like fucking malicious, motherfucking evil piece of shit, like the devil's dog, like the devil incarnate. Like goddamn, fucking Labby, you fuck. Like, oh, it just at every point, like that son of a bitch. Yeah, you guys know, I'm sure. Um, yeah, I actually like I said also, I felt like after a while I got accustomed to Jimmy's voice with Labby, which is funny. A lot of people are probably not going to agree with me on that because it was still kind of like cringy in a sense with him like trying to do like dog like lapping sounds, like breathing heavy while talking and shit. But I mean, to me, it's sort of like it stuck with it. um, and yeah, I went through positives and I went through negatives. So yeah, really, I guess I sort of went over everything I really fucking need to for this movie. Yeah, I mean, disturbing wise, like others excel way more so than this. There's like irreversible, characters that I personally could get invested to and care about. Emotions are there, the effects are there, everything's there. A Serbian film, characters that I can care about. The emotions there, the effects are there, everything's there and done. Whereas this one, a lot of it was just completely void, in my opinion. It was void of that. And so that's what kind of dragged it down. So yeah, there's a lot of things that could have been done to make it better, but I definitely understand why most would give even less score than I would. But I gave it a 4.5 for the reasons I stated. But yeah, guys, so I guess that's basically all I can say about Where the Dead Go to Die. If you enjoyed it, good for you. I'm not trying to shit on this movie. Your opinions are fine. If you didn't enjoy this movie, I understand. I definitely understand why you did not enjoy this movie, because there is very little to find in it, in my opinion. But alright, guys, so if you liked this review, if you liked the movie, give this video a like. If you want to share your thoughts with me, or if you found something I didn't find, or you want to discuss whatever, leave something in the comments. And if you liked this disturbing horror movie, extreme horror movie review, subscribe for more. I'm also going to be doing, normal horror movies. It's not all going to be solely disturbing movies. But yeah, so, I mean, if you liked it, subscribe for more, like, comment. But that is all for me. I got the runtime back up again for motherfuck. For fuck's sake, I did it again. Okay, anyways. But it's good to be back doing disturbing films. I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick next. Give me some ideas, possibly. I don't know if I'm going to be reviewing older ones, re-reviewing them yet or not. But yeah, it's good to be back. A so-so movie for my first foray back into the extreme film genre. But whatever, it was alright. So anyways, guys, that was me, my review and all that shit. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.